My name is Mark Bowness and I have an unstoppable dream, which is to help 100,000 coaches, consultants and experts to build their tribes of 10,000 people and together impact 1 billion lives. During these solo podcasts, I lift the lid on my journey to impact 1 billion people. I will share with you the mistakes, the celebrations, the joy that comes from helping tribe builders just like you to increase your income and your impact and to enable you to live, lead and leave your life-changing legacy here on planet Earth. Hello, Mark Bowness here, going live in the Communities That Convert Facebook group. It's awesome to be going live with you today, and I have some really important content to share with you from the heart. So here in Australia, it is Are You OK Day. This is a day where we remind ourselves to ask friends, family, loved ones, are you okay? To check in and see how they're doing, because often we're busy in life. There's so much going on that we often fail just to ask our friends, our family, those around us, are you okay? And mental health is such an important issue that we all need to focus on, that we all need to support one another in, especially during COVID and lockdown, for places in the world that are still struggling with the consequences of COVID with regards to income and the economy and jobs and frustration in terms of family and all that overwhelm that we're experiencing. It's important that we're asking, are you okay? And I wanted to really share with you from the heart the message with regards to business owners. And in business, as entrepreneurs, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have everything figured out and sorted out in business. And the reason that I'm saying this is because those people around you who aren't entrepreneurs don't often understand the entrepreneurial journey. You know that somehow that deep down inside you, you have the ability, a skill, a tool, a modality, just something inside you to help people to change their lives or to start a new business, to start a cafe, a restaurant, to hairdressers, to launch a new app, to create some business that's never previously existed before. You know deep down inside you, and it keeps you awake at night. And those that aren't of an entrepreneurial mindset, they don't get that. And so it's often the case that you can feel overwhelmed, overburdened, that you can struggle with the fact that you know that you can achieve something, but you just don't know how to achieve it. And that really does impact entrepreneurs all over the world. And that's what I want to address today. It's okay as an entrepreneur not to be okay. And what can you do about not being okay? And I think it's important to lift the lid on this issue because, again, we're in this social media world, and you know, in this social media world, there's so much content with regards to, hey, build your 7-figure business, or check out the guru or the expert or the business owner that's in their Lamborghini or their jet, or, you know, the whatever it is that they're in, and everything looks great and everything looks impressive. And that actual kind of mistruth that's created and conveyed through social media highlights your own insecurities in yourself. I remember when I first started my business and I was looking up to the greats, like one of my heroes, Richard Branson. Look what he's built across a Virgin brand, multiple brands around the world. And I thought that this guy has something. This guy has a unique skill, a unique ability, this entrepreneurial element to him that I don't have. I could never be like him, right? And so that gap, that divide seemed to be huge. The fact that there's lots of business owners, successful people out there, and yet I'm struggling how to create a product. I'm struggling how to sell. I'm wondering what my unique thing is because there's nothing new under the sun. And in the social media world, when there's so much online, there's so much posted online about build a 6, 7 or 7-figure business, multiple 7-figure business. You know, you haven't built a business until you've generated multiple 7 figures. It can often leave us feeling like we're not good enough. As in, what am I doing wrong? What could I be doing better? And that compounded with the voice of those around you that might be saying, just quit trying to run a business and start your own job. When you know, start a job, get involved in a corporate career. When you know deep down there's something within you to achieve something powerful, that is when the tension and the stress in your mind comes. Throughout my entrepreneurial career, I've never worked for anybody else. Ever. I'm so fortunate and lucky to have never worked for anybody else. I've always built my own businesses, but it's not come without stress. It's not come without tears. It's not come without making bad mistakes. I've hired the wrong people. I've worked with the wrong people. I've launched the wrong products. I've outsourced both tasks and responsibility that's nearly resulted in the downfall of my business. I created my first business was a charity. And I took people to Africa and I spoke on stages and inspiring and motivating young people, but I didn't have a clear strategy as to how to make money. I then launched a crazy business, and many of you know the story. I leased a 200-acre island in Fiji and invited the world to become tribe members, and it went insane. It was incredible. This was in 200 media outlets around the world. It was filmed for 18 months, became a TV show in 3 countries. I was finally like, I have made it. This is amazing. I'm now the kind of Branson figure in my own mind that I wanted to be. I've done it, right? I've done it. And then I thought that I've got this formula. This formula works. I've cracked the code to building a business. And therefore I tried to build another business based upon the similar model. It failed. It failed because the strategy was wrong. It failed because the timing was wrong. Just before it was a global announcement of the global financial crisis, it ruined that business. I tried to launch a couple of other businesses after that business that failed. Suddenly, the person, I thought that I had the Midas touch, that everything that I could touch in business turned to gold. I was on 200 media outlets, Good Morning America, Today Show, the New York Times. It was amazing. Then I launched another business, failed, and I felt like such a failure. I'd worked hard in terms of building business and I didn't have anything else behind me. I didn't have a corporate career. I didn't have experience in any job or position. It was just me on my own trying to figure this stuff out. And then I launched my business in Australia. I built a multiple 7-figure business and it's gone amazing. Right? It's gone amazing, but it's not been without its stress. As I said, I've worked with the wrong people. I worked with a web designer once, who was building websites for my clients, and I couldn't get in touch with her for a while. And it turned out that after I couldn't get in touch with her and she'd taken clients' money, that she was actually been put in prison, for stealing money. She was an accountant for another business. I didn't know that. And she stole money. I worked with the wrong people. I've made mistakes. I've had times when I've been in tears thinking that everything will be over. Everything is going to end. I've got stories that I could tell you that I'm not allowed to tell you with regards to the journey and experience that I've had in business and mistakes that I've made. Right? So it's been tough and I understand the journey of how tough it can be in business. So I want to say to you, it's okay to not be okay in business. It's okay. And we need to understand strategies and have support in place to make sure that whatever we experience in business, right, that we can actively strategize to get outcomes, to get results, to hit the goals that we're looking for, the goals that we want to achieve without being overwhelmed, without being overburdened, and without losing our mind, without losing our relationships, without losing our friendships. Comment hell yeah below if you understand what I'm talking about. So, and this, by the way, is going live in the group. It's also going out live as the We Build Tribes podcast today. So I'll give you the group to go to at the end. I'd love for you to join us. So there are 4 strategies that I really want to share with you that I've learned in my journey of being successful and not successful and who knows what else in the entrepreneurial career. We know that the most amazing individuals can have the most incredible businesses and build very successful multi-million-dollar businesses, and something could happen and it's just wiped out. It's just wiped out, whether it's because somebody's been rogue in the business and they've stolen money, lost money, spent money through a wrong decision that could have been made in the business, because we lose a significant contract because something external hits us, like a global financial crisis. It happens to all of us. So let's accept that things happen. And once we accept them, we're all on this normal human level of that thing called life, where anybody that we deem to be successful, their business could be over in a heartbeat, then we're all on that same playing field, and we can learn and grow from there. So the 4 strategies that I want to teach you. Firstly, look after your mind. It's so important to look after your mind. And I work with coaches, consultants, experts, online business owners, and we know this stuff, and we teach this stuff, and we live and we breathe this stuff, but we don't often operate in the same way in our own lives. We don't look after our mindset. Business success or failure starts or ends in the mind. Let me say that again. Business success or failure starts or ends in the mind. It's so true. And so often we're busy in business. We're trying to generate leads, sales, serve clients, that we don't protect our own mind. We don't make sure that we have the greatest inspiration through audiobooks, through reading books, through YouTube, through even meditation. We don't look after our minds in the way that we should do to protect us from what might come. Make sure that you have time in your day to look after your mind, because business success or failure starts or ends in the mind. Start today, whether it's a meditation practice, 3 minutes a day to start with, right? Whether it's 5 minutes of an audiobook, an inspiring audiobook that you listen to every day, whether it's a YouTube video, make time for this positive stuff coming into your mind, especially if you don't have a network of people around you who are also entrepreneurial, who might be trying to drag you down, to bring you down, to encourage you to go and get a job as opposed to work on your business. So step number 1, strategy number 1, look after your mind. Secondly, look after your body. You can only scale your business so far as you've been able to scale your body and your mind. But in terms of scaling your body, look after yourself. We can get so busy with the business of building a business that we can think, I don't have time. I don't have time to go for a walk. I don't have time to go for a run. I don't have time to go for a bike ride or to swim or any of that kind of stuff. I often live in this beautiful house here in Victoria, and we have a pool, and it's been cold and it's been winter, and I tried to jump into the pool when it was cold and I struggled, and now the weather's picking up, and I was in the pool recently, but I walked past the pool like, I need to spend more time in this pool. I love being in the water, focusing on spending time, just getting out there. Looking after your body, right? When I've had the worst points in business, and a number of years ago, I had a very, very difficult time in business. And we're often told that when we struggle in business, that we need to hustle harder, that we need to get in front of the computer. We need to work late hours, work early hours to figure out the things that are going wrong. And I don't believe that's true. I think that we focus so much on trying to fix things through our mind, through a conscious decision of the mind, that we negate the power of just getting out there, escaping, and allowing our unconscious mind to do its thing, right? So when I really struggled in business a few years ago, and I made some bad decisions and worked with the wrong people that had some dramatic and serious consequences for me. And the day that this all came to a head, I could have just focused on hustling hard on the computer and trying to make it all work, but I didn't. I went for a walk. That day, I walked 30,000 steps in one day. I just walked and walked and walked, thinking through the process, thinking through what needed to happen, thinking through the steps, methodically, strategically, thinking about every other option, every option that could take place, right? And then just not even thinking about the problem at hand, just enjoying being in the world, the birds, the rustling of the trees, the wind on my face, just being alive in that moment and allowing my unconscious mind to do its thing. And I got the results. I got breakthrough. The situation changed. And I walked 10,000 steps every single day, making a decision to do that, to look after my body and my mind. So step 1, look after your body. Step 1, look after your mind. Step 2, look after your body. Step 3, strategy number 3, when we're overwhelmed, focus on strategy So let me know your biggest takeaways below, by the way, in comments under the live. So let me know your biggest takeaways. But we're so overwhelmed in business. It's so easy to be overwhelmed in business. There is so much to do. Lead generation, sales, marketing, serving clients, finances, whether it's managing teams, whether it is generating consistency of leads. So thinking ahead in terms of the lead generation process, whether it's accounts. There are so many things in business, insurance, whether it's HR practices. There's so much to do. And my clients often say to me, Mark, I'm so overwhelmed in business. And I say, right, I said this yesterday. I said, right, if you're overwhelmed, tell me what you're overwhelmed with. And they'll say, oh, I've got to put together this webinar. I'm going to launch this webinar. Okay, cool. So you're overwhelmed with that. Okay, well, look, in business, there is so much to do in business. Every single day, there are so many things to do in business, especially if you're working on your own or you have a very small team around you. There's so much to do. I said, so you're worried about the webinar, but look, here are all the other things that you need to worry about too. So whether it is sales, making sure that you've got the right prospects on calls, delivering the product, making sure that you've got not just the webinar in place, but the email that flows from the webinar. How are you getting people into the webinar? How are you making sure that people turn up to the webinar? How are you promoting the product to those that didn't turn up to the webinar, but registered for the webinar? How are you creating content that connects with your audience? All of these sorts of questions. And I say, look, there are so many things that you need to do in your business right now for it to be successful, that if you're going to get overwhelmed, if you're going to be overwhelmed with the reality of everything that's going on. And then they chuckle. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. There's so much for me to do. So there is so much to do in business that whenever I get overwhelmed, I focus on strategy. Okay. The webinar, for example. What are the things that I need to do? Break down every single step. So creating the presentation, right? Making sure the slides are looking good, right? Making sure I have a product to sell afterwards. Making sure that I have the emails to invite people to the webinar, a series of emails. Making sure that people turn up to the webinar. Making sure I have the pitch right at the end. Making sure that I have the follow-up so those that register for the webinar but didn't attend to the webinar get to see the replay. Make sure I have an email sequence that follows up with everybody to make sure that not only they've seen the webinar, but then they've bought in or booked in a call. So when I feel overwhelmed, I just write a to-do list. I'm known for my to-do list. Just write, the steps. Don't be overwhelmed with all the things that you feel like need to happen, because then you go down this crazy spiral where it's like, if I don't get this webinar happening, then I'm not going to make money. If people don't turn up because of the emails are wrong, then nobody's going to buy. I'm not going to make money. If I don't make money, then what am I going to do next week for mortgage? And what am I going to do for the kids for food? And, I'm never going to be able to be on holiday. And then what about my retirement? And suddenly you've wasted so much time telling yourself a story that may be true or might not be true, but will definitely be true if all you do is spend time dwelling on the story that at this stage may or may not be true. Does that make sense? So you can spend so much time dwelling and overthinking things and getting down and being negative and really struggling to the extent where the worst possible scenario that you can imagine could happen, you actually bring that into reality by not just focusing on the steps that need to happen and to ensure the success of that thing that you're focused on in that moment. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, say yes, Mark, comment yes, Mark in the chat box or the comment box below. So far, we've got number 1, look after your mind. Number 2, look after your body. Number 3, when you're overwhelmed, focus on building a strategy. And number 4, build a community of people around you who you can be honest, open, and vulnerable with. Build a community of people around you who you can be open, honest, and vulnerable with. This is so important. None of the, hey, I've got my jet, and if you buy my product or course or program, you can have a jet like me. No, life's great and I've got multiple 7 figures, and, head to these parties like me after you've built your multiple 7 figures, or here's me with Jay-Z or whoever, right? but build a real community, a real, authentic, heartfelt community of entrepreneurs around you that you can be real with, that you can be vulnerable with, that you can be honest with, that will kind of give you that guidance when you need it, that honest reality check of, stop focusing on the negative, stop focusing on the overwhelm, focus on a strategy. Or you're working too hard, you're not going to get the result by hustling hard. Get out into the world, go and run, go and ride a bike, do whatever. Like, you need an honest, real group of people around you who will be honest and truthful with you. And hand on my heart, more than anything else, that's what I want to provide for you. So we have a group that we've been building, and we've just changed the name of the group. So the name of the group is Communities That Convert. So Communities That Convert. And I want this to be your go-to place. So we are building communities of amazing people who are building amazing communities themselves, increasing their income and their impact through changing and transforming people's lives. But in order to build communities, we've got to be part of a community, to embed and root ourselves into a community that we can be honest with, that we can be vulnerable with, that we can have reality checks with, that we can build those relationships with. And I'm pouring my heart, my soul, my passion into this group, and it's going to grow. It's going to expand to be that place for you. So please, if you have a passion to build a business, if you have a passion to do something that unique that maybe people don't grasp, that maybe your partner, your friends, your family, they don't understand, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you're never going to make it, if you relate to the idea or concept of, there are successful people out there, but you could never be like them, but inside you, you have this feeling that I could do something, I just don't know how, then join our community. If you're listening to the podcast, join our community. I'm now shifting all of my focus into this community to commit myself to helping you, to growing with you alongside Blair Robinson, to build communities that you can develop content and products and services for that will enable you to convert effectively. Powerful, life-changing communities. When I come back to the work that we've done and we've helped people Naomi and Matt to build a powerful community for parents with children on the autism spectrum, Maria Leslie to build a powerful community that helps people that grieve after loving somebody that they love. And we've helped Nick and Michelle to build a powerful community of mountain bikers. Building a community based around your passion is where it's at, but it starts with being deeply embedded in the community who will serve you and support you. And that's what I want for you. So please, hopefully this has helped. My door is always open. My Zoom is always open. My social media inboxes are always open. My email is always open. And if you're feeling like you're not okay in business, then please reach out to me. I've had highs, I've had lows, I've had stresses. I still do. It's the nature of building a business, but I'm honestly here for you, to serve you and to support you. So please reach out to me. So join the Facebook group, Communities That Convert. You can email me, mark@markbowness.com.au. I look at every single email, my inbox, social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I am there for you. So please use that as a resource. So I hope that you are okay. If you're not, please reach out to me or somebody else. But know that the entrepreneurial journey, it's a roller coaster, but it's the best roller coaster that I've ever been on in my life. And I'm grateful and I'm fortunate to be on that journey to build a multiple 7-figure business. And who knows, that might fall apart one day, and I might be back at stage 1 starting again, but it's okay. It's okay. So hopefully this message has helped you. Please reach out. Please join the group, Communities That Convert, and join our beautiful community of just amazing people just like you, who are seeking to do important, big, special things in the world. So my name is Mark Burnett. Hopefully that's helped. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you've been listening to the podcast, join the group and we'll see you there. Take care and speak soon. Every business needs a tribe, an audience who are passionate consumers of your content and purchasers of your products. If you're struggling to find buyers for your products and services, then our Group Launch Your Life Challenge is for you. We've just opened the doors to our next round, in which myself and the team will work with you over 14 days to make sure that you build a tribe based upon my proven 7-figure tribe building formula and have your perfect prospects reaching out to you. Simply head to grouplauncherlive.com and get registered today. Act fast, the challenge starts soon. Thank you for listening to the We Build Tribes podcast. Want to know more? Head over to Facebook and search for our group, We Build Tribes, and join over 30,000 amazing individuals from all over the world who are building purpose-driven communities that are changing lives. Want to connect with me personally? Head over to www.markbonas.com.au and access a whole bunch of free resources. I can't wait to connect with you soon.